Hello and welcome to the Book Profit Blueprint. This is a workshop for entrepreneurs, and we are going to cover how to write, self-publish, launch, and leverage a best-selling book on Amazon that actually drives profit into your business. So this is designed for people that have a business. If you're selling products and or services, then awesome. And this is all going to be possible even if you're a first-time author, even if you don't have a lot of time and you want to do it as fast as 8 weeks, even if you have $0 in ads and you don't need a publishing deal. You can do this all yourself. Okay, so let's jump in and make you a best-selling author so you can leverage it for all the goodies. What we're going to cover today is broken down into first foundations, where we're going to plan a roadmap and a strategy for how you can use your book to make a profit in your business. So kind of give you a nice overview, a visual strategy and roadmap so you can really visualize exactly the approach for all this. And then we're going to go into 3 specific secrets to try to give you even more specifics that you can take action on. Number 1 is how to write a great book, even if you hate writing. Number 2 is how to hit bestseller without ads or a big email list. And number 3 is how to start making money from your book by really leveraging it to grow your brand and your business, sell more products and services than ever before. And at the end, I will let you know how you can work with me if you want to go even more in depth in what we talk about and get even more tricks and tools and resources to go faster, save more time, reduce your headache. If you're like, okay, just take me by the hand and tell me exactly what to do step by step, that is where the Best-Selling Book Accelerator comes in. In this presentation, you're going to get a ton of valuable stuff where you can just take it and run with it because I want to empower you to do it all yourself. But if you want more help, just know that the Best-Selling Book Accelerator is that next step where I can help you even more. All right, before we jump into the material, who the heck am I? A little bit about me. So my name is Laura Peterson. I'm originally from Orange County, California, and I always like to say that I was a big nerd in school. So I graduated from high school in 1999, and those are some photos of me on the screen there, my senior portrait, and this is me with the NHS group, which stands for National Honor Society. So my idea of fun was studying for tests. I was a big nerd. Now, the girls who ran the school they called themselves the senior princesses. Each year, the school's girls who were the most popular in the senior class would get together and give themselves a cool name and print shirts declaring their cool name, and they'd wear them all the time and just kind of like rub it in everyone's faces that they were awesome and we all sucked who weren't selected. So my year they were called the senior princesses. And really this reign of terror lasted forever unchallenged until my year in 1999, when one day I got to school and my best friend Emily ran up to me and she was like, "Oh my gosh, did you see what happened?" And I said, "No, what?" And she said, "The geekiest girls, even lower on the social hierarchy than we are, showed up with shirts of their own." And so the geekiest girls showed up with shirts that said Senior Queens on them, and they were purple. And so this was the first time that the real power in my school was ever challenged. And I wasn't brave enough to be a senior queen. I wasn't brave enough to stand up against senior princesses. I just kind of try to stay invisible and hope no one noticed me to like bully me and stuff. But I definitely learned a lot from the senior queens, and it's what I now call my print your own shirt manifesto. So what the senior queens taught me was we shouldn't wait around and just wait for someone to tap us on our shoulder and tell us that we're good enough to be whatever we want to be. Now, of course, this story is from high school and now it's like 20 years later, and I have still put myself in limiting boxes and limiting beliefs. So even though I wish I could say I learned everything I needed to learn in high school, it's definitely taken me a long time also through my entrepreneurial journey to realize that I get to define who I am. So if you want to be a best-selling published author, print your own shirt. You don't have to wait for a publishing company or for anyone to tell you you're expert enough or good enough or anything. You already are. And this presentation is going to hopefully help you to actually put that dream into action so that you can print your own shirt that says best-selling published author and leverage it for so much more. So a little bit back to me, my story. So I was a high school teacher for many years. I taught high school math and psychology. I also taught community college psychology. I have a teaching English as a foreign language certification. I actually got that in Prague. My husband and I lived in Europe for a year, and that's a photo of my husband Devin and our dog Tuck in the Pantheon in Rome. Fun fact, I've been to over 44 countries. So my training, I have a master's in education. My training is as a teacher, and that's really what is in my heart as well. I love helping other people to do things that I've mastered and can pass along. Now, in terms of business, I quit teaching full-time in about 2011, and my first company was a tutoring and test prep company. So I kept on doing more tutoring, more teaching, SAT prep, more helping people to learn. But my heart fell out of the helping high schoolers get into college space because I just became so passionate about business and entrepreneurship. And I got into podcasting in about 2014 and started helping with a friend of mine, clients, to launch podcasts and do the content marketing behind podcasts to grow their shows. And in 2016, my husband and I returned home from Europe, and I felt really, really invisible. I would go to different conferences and events, and I just felt like people look past my head to go find some big name to run over to and get their autograph and take a selfie with them. And just, I don't know, I just kind of felt like a nobody in the space. And I was like, how do I change this? So that's where books come into my story. I had 3 people in 1 week tell me, why don't you write a book to stand out? Like, duh. And I was like, oh, I never really considered that. Or I thought I might write a book in 20 more years, like when I'm 60 or something. I don't know. But I decided, okay, let's do this. So I wrote and self-published my first book, which is on the screen there, How to Grow Your Podcast Brand and Business with Compelling Copywriting for Podcasters. And I decided to do it in 30 days. So I was like, let's just put a short timeline on this and make it happen. And it's no small book. It's actually over 360 pages. So definitely put in a lot of work into a tight time frame. And these days in my best-selling book Accelerator, I give you a roadmap for how to do it in 8 weeks. So twice as long. So it's still a short deadline under your butt, but it's not quite so hectic. And as a result of doing this book, I got more podcast bookings, more speaking gigs, more instant credibility, more traffic, more sales, everything. It has really been the best decision I've made in business so far. And that's kind of what sparked me down the path around books. And then I did it again with book number 2 in 2018. And as I record this, I have book 3, 4, 5, and 6 already in the works and up my sleeves. So more things are coming. Keep your eye out. So as of right now, I'm a 2-time international bestselling author. I've got 2 books that hit number 1 in the US and in another country. I've spoken on stage in 3 different continents. And I used to be terrified of public speaking, but becoming an author and all the extra media attention that came from that really helped encourage me to push past my limiting beliefs around speaking. And I've got a popular podcast called Copy That Pops, working on Book That Pops as well. I've helped tons of people just like you who are entrepreneurs that want to grow their brand and business and want to use the power of books to get a profit, to get an ROI. You can always go to copythatpops.com/wall-of-fame if you want to see an updated list of all the success stories. And I've really overcome what I call the imposter syndrome monster that is kind of like the senior princesses in your head keeping you back. And I am ready to help you as well. Okay, so let's dive into the meat of things. So foundations, let's plan now a roadmap and a strategy for how your book can actually help you make a profit in your business. Now, if you've thought about using a book to grow your brand and business so far, but haven't done it yet, you might have been feeling some frustrations around time. When am I going to find time to write this thing? Maybe you feel like I'm invisible and how do I stand out? Can a book really help me? I want to be respected as an expert, but who am I to write a book? You need to make a plan for how to get readers and more traffic into your business as hot leads. You might have struggled with shiny object syndrome in the past. Oop, I'm missing a J in object, or overwhelm. I know I definitely have. So as what I try to teach in the Bestselling Book Accelerator and in this workshop is How can we get more visibility, more respect as an expert, more traffic, and eliminate the shiny object syndrome, overwhelm, and do it in a short time frame? So I want you just to think really fast. What would it mean to your business if you, as the leader in your field, had more instant credibility? Just instantly people looked at you differently. What would it mean for your business if you had more exposure to a huge new audience, had more leverage to get whatever you wanted or needed? So for example, hey, I really need some extra exposure on podcast interviews. What can I use to leverage to get that? What would it mean if you could get more leads into your CRM, which is your customer relationship management system? So basically like your email nurturing platform where you can follow up with people. What would it mean to have 1, 5, 10, 100 more new clients per month, to make a bigger impact, and to have a clear, proven path of how to achieve all this? So if you really want to stand out in your field, write a book, and you don't need permission from a publisher. So this is paraphrasing what James Altucher, who's a famous bestselling author, said to me. He was one of those 3 people I mentioned in 1 week that told me how to stand out from the crowd is to really write a book. And that really stuck with me. So now I'm passing on those wise words to you as well. All right. So as part of our foundations, let's think about the 3 steps to getting clients into your business, AKA getting more profit. So first, they have to find you. Second, they have to trust you. And third, they have to make the decision to buy from you. So how does a book specifically help you with all these things? Well, number one, for finding you, Amazon, which is the top place or the first place that you should publish your book, is one of the top most visited websites in the entire world. Some lists put it in the top 8, in the top 5, in the top 10, but it's certainly one of the most visited websites in the entire world. It's also a search engine. People, if they have a problem, are going there to find a solution. So if you don't have a book, you are missing out on a huge new source of traffic for people to find you. Now, how about trust? There is just a magic around books. Imagine telling somebody, hey, I just started a podcast, or hey, I just started writing articles on a blog. They're going to be like, oh, that's cool, but they're not going to look at you really any differently. But that's different with a book, because a book used to be something that only the super rich, the super lucky, or the super crazy persistent could ever do. But now we can take that power into our own hands and do it. But the magic around books is still there. People just really respect it. Imagine telling your family at the next Christmas or holiday get together that you're a best-selling published author. Their eyes are going to just widen open and they're going to be like, I'm so proud of you. So there's just this magic around books that we can really leverage to get more instant trust. And then also with the book, you could use it to nurture your leads. So you could give away free copies or free chapters or different things using your book to actually grow and build more trust with the leads that you already have, or with new people to bring them into your captured audience that you can follow up with. And number 3, buy from you. So who do you think they're going to want to book an appointment with and purchase from? Person A, who seems like an expert in their field but doesn't have a book, or person B, who seems like an expert in their field and is a best-selling published author. You're going to get more sales, more appointments just from the fact that you can say, I wrote the book on this topic, which I can help you with. So a book will help you with all 3 stages of client acquisition in your business. All right, so as part of our foundations and our roadmap and our blueprint, let's dive into this image. So this is my visual that helps to represent the book profit blueprint. So kind of like a full overview of how a book really works inside of your brand and business to generate a profit at the bottom end of things. So at the very top, we need to be known for something, and that is what I recommend you write your first book about, because you could probably write your book about a lot of different things, but the first thing you could start with that I would suggest is a topic that you want to be known for more, and that's going to feed really naturally into profit at the bottom end. So what topic of your book is going to help drive more sales of your products and services? That's what you should start with. It kind of ties into what you want to be known for and where you can actually make profit from. So let's look at level 1 and level 2. So what's underneath each of those? So step 1 with level 1 is to actually get a book written. And then step 2, which is level 2, is to make it a bestseller. Inside of level 1, I've broken it down into 3 more mini steps. So P1 is plan. We want to make sure that our goals are aligned for helping our audience, our readers, but also for helping us, because there's no point in writing this book if it's not going to help grow our brand and business. I mean, there is a point. It's great to help other people, but we also want it to be beneficial to our purposes too, and not just be only altruistic. We want it to really help us as well. And then P2 is pen, or to produce the book. So this is where brainstorming and outlining and writing comes into play. The cover of your book, which you can get help from graphic designers for really free or for really cheap or free, which we talk about in the Bestselling Book Accelerator as well. P3 is what I call polish. So this is where we do the editing and the formatting of the book so that it's ready for publishing on both Kindle and for print. Okay, so level 1 is all about getting the book done and ready, making sure it's a great book that will help grow your brand and business, will drive more people to get into your funnel so you can nurture them and turn them into leads and clients. And usually the people that I work with have their book in their head, stuck in their computer, or maybe stuck in even a garage. Maybe you wrote a book many, many years ago, but you never published it on Amazon. You never tried to do a bestseller run, and you're not really leveraging it the way that you could. So no matter where your book is, we're going to get it out of your head, your computer, your garage, and polish it up, make sure it's perfect and ready to go. Now, under bestseller, this is where it gets really, really fun. So level 2 is for hitting bestseller and getting proof of doing so. So P4 is to publish your Kindle book first. And there's a lot of reasons that I explain in the accelerator why we want to start with that in terms of strategy and logistics. But I always recommend to start with publishing your Kindle first. And then P5 is to get proof of hitting bestseller. Because when you hit number 1 on Amazon in relevant categories, Amazon's not going to send you a trophy in the mail or anything. So you need to be ready to get screenshots and get proof that you have done that. And then P6 is for getting your book into print. So I recommend 100% to do a soft cover book, like a paperback book. And then some people choose to do a hardcover, and some people choose to do an audiobook as well. So really what we've talked about so far in the blueprint, this top part in yellow and you're known for, this is the core of the Best-Selling Book Accelerator. But the cool thing is that you're going to start getting benefits from level 3, which is all about boost, even while you're doing this stuff above. It's really, really cool. That's the power of books. But I want to keep on going, just to explain the full overview of how a book fits into your business. So looking at level 3, the main 3 ways that people who work with me, entrepreneurs, want to leverage their book to grow their brand and business is they want to get more podcast interviews, P7, get more public speaking, P8, and get more PR and media, traditional media like radio, TV interviews, blog features, magazine features, all that kind of stuff, which is P9. So those are the things that I like to focus on in helping my clients after they've got the bestseller done in leveraging for more. Now, these little things off to the side in the diagram are what I call side effects. So boosting side effects, and you're going to get them no matter what, even as you work on level 1 and level 2. That's the power of books. So things you can expect from books in terms of side benefits are increased confidence, increased clarity, raising your prices, because if you're a best-selling published author, you can raise your prices, instant credibility from everybody that you talk to. You can make a bigger impact, because I bet that you're sharing your stories and lessons learned are going to help other people who are following in your footsteps, and you get to make a more powerful impact with your book. Leave a legacy. Having a book published out there is something that will never go away. And so even your great grandchildren will be able to look back and say, wow, my grandma, my grandpa was a best-selling published author. That's so cool. New partnerships, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that in the future around the psychology of things. People want to actually partner with you if you look like a big deal, and having a book and that's best-selling is going to raise your status in their eyes. And increased brand awareness. Now, as soon as we wrap up the foundations, we're going to cover those 3 secrets, and I'm giving you a secret from each of these levels. So secret 1 will come from level 1, secret 2 from level 2, and secret 3 from level 3. Now, before revealing what's hidden behind these little slots here, I want to give you a couple other insights into how books really work. So, how do we really make money from books? So, what I would encourage you to think about is a book is kind of like an iceberg. So, the tip of the iceberg, the stuff that's sticking out of the water, is the royalties from book sales. So, you will make money from royalties from selling your book, but it's just the tip of what you can really do by leveraging your book to sell more of your products and services. Because let's say you're selling your book for 99 cents on Kindle, or even if it's $2.99 or $9.99, the portion that you're going to get for the effort that you put into selling the book, because you're going to have to split it with Amazon, is not as worth trying to get people into your funnel, because maybe your product is $197 or $500 or $1,000, or maybe it's $5,000 a month. Whatever your products or services are going to be a lot more worth the effort of leveraging people with your books to become clients that you can continue to upsell for the rest of time. And by the way, people who buy your book on platforms like Amazon, you don't automatically get their email, so you can't automatically just sell them more stuff. So we want to really think about how we can pull them into our funnel so we can make more profit by selling them our products and services. Okay, and then how else does a book really work? So a book will directly lead to more sales. That's both on Amazon, like we talked about with royalties, and it's new clients. So instantly, people who are searching for a solution and they find your book and see you as the expert in it will see, oh, this person has a website and can help me with XYZ, and they will come and make a purchase and become a client just directly from your book. But even if that doesn't happen, your book will also lead to more sales indirectly. So it will lead to more media attention. With increased status, with increased credibility, you're going to get more media attention. And from media attention, that can lead to sales of your products and services. So keep that in mind too. And this media attention, even if it doesn't lead directly to sales, will lead more traffic and authority into your ability to get more emails and get more leads into your business. The book can also directly lead to more emails and leads. So you can offer free reader resources inside your book in exchange for an email address. Or you can do a free plus shipping offer where you offer the print book for free as long as you just pay shipping and handling, which covers your costs. But now you've got a really hot lead into your business. And those emails and leads that you capture, you can then nurture with great emails and retargeting ads to lead to more sales. So the book doesn't just directly lead to sales, it also indirectly leads through all these other ways, which is really incredible. And like we talked about before, think about your buying behavior. If you have expert A who doesn't have a book, but expert B is a best-selling published author on the topic that you need help with, who would you hire, A or B? Most likely it's B. So let's get you into that category too. All right, back to the overall blueprint. So as we saw, using your book, you can drive more traffic and get more leads. And so this LM in the diagram stands for lead magnet. So your book itself could be a lead magnet, which is how you can get an email in exchange for giving them a copy of the book. Or maybe inside of the book, once they have it, you can give them other things as a carrot to dangle in front of them to exchange their email. So you can use the book as a lead magnet, or you can even attract people who already have your book into your funnel with another lead magnet offer. And the CRM, which we talked about before, is customer relationship management system. It's basically just the where you can capture those emails and follow up with people. So different platforms might include Infusionsoft, ActiveCampaign, ConvertKit, things like that. And then the nurture is where the follow-up really happens. And that's the people you own their email addresses for. You can continue to send them educational, valuable information that helps them in their journey, but then also lets them know how they can work with you further when they're ready to buy your products and services. And that leads directly into profit for your business. So that completes a full overview of how you actually make a profit with books in your business. This diagram, plus some of those other little drawings that we saw before, will give you the full picture and the full scoop. Now, this is a lot of moving pieces, so I wanted just to give you a quick heads up. If you're thinking, okay, if you're projecting into the future, where do I even start? I would recommend you want to start with level 1 and level 2. And that is the exact focus of the Bestselling Book Accelerator, which I'll tell you more about at the end. So if you focus on level 1 and level 2, you're going to start to get benefits from level 3 coming to you naturally, even as you're writing, even as you're publishing, even as you're getting proof of bestseller. And you likely already have some of these other lower things, the lead magnet and nurture and stuff, in place. And it's just a matter of refining them and making them better. So really the focus is going to be up in here. And as we dive into the secrets, we will cover something from level 1, level 2, and even level 3. Okay, so far with the foundations, I've given you a good amount of things to think about. Let's take a quick moment just to reflect on a couple of questions. So number 1, how clear is your known for? Are you crystal clear on exactly what you want to be known for in your industry? And is that aligned with selling more products and services in your business? And then number 2, I'd love to know, where are you right now in the blueprint with your book? Are you in P1, P2, P3, 4, 5, or 6? So take a moment to kind of think about where you are right there, or where have you gotten stuck so far? And then question number 3, are you getting as many of the boost benefits that you want and you deserve to help grow your brand and business? If not, a book that is a best-selling book, which I'll help you with, is just the ticket. I'm confident of that. All right, so we're about to jump into the secrets, but as we get into it, really remember all the incredible benefits and profit building things that can come out of it. So for a book, it's probably been a bucket list item or a dream for you for a long time. These are a few of my best-selling author clients who have gone on to check it off their bucket list. And for me, the benefits have been really incredible. It's been more profit than just money even, because I got increased clarity and confidence in what I really knew, checked off a dream, developed deeper relationships with influencers. I got to walk a bunch of red carpets and help behind the scenes filming some TV shows. I made money from books sales and also affiliate links, and grew my email list, got booked on more podcasts, got invited to speak on stages around the world, raised my status in the eyes of peers, family, and friends, raised my prices, attracted more leads and clients. And internally, I just got so much value, really increased confidence and clarity, and just like, let's go and take on the imposter syndrome monster once and for all. So keep all those benefits and incredible profit boosting things in mind, because it is your turn next. All right, let's jump into secret number 1, which comes from level 1 in our book profit blueprint, and it is covered in depth inside of the Bestselling Book Accelerator. So we're going to cover now how to quickly write a book, even if you suck at writing, or even if you think that you do. Now, I don't know if I told this too much in my overview, but I used to do professional copywriting for people. So I've done ghostwriting of books, I've done ghostwriting of blog articles, and fixing of sales pages and things like that for copy. So you might be thinking, well, why would I select this as a secret for the training? Because for me personally, writing is a strong suit of mine. I actually feel more comfortable writing something out than speaking it out. But it's okay if it's not your strong suit. And as a quick pop quiz, when I say you want to become a best-selling author, is that dependent on your writing ability or your sales? It gives it away in the name. Best-selling is just the person who sells the most books, not the person that writes the best book according to the grammar laws. So just remember that if your book genuinely has quality in helping somebody achieve the goals they're looking for, then that is good enough. That is what we're going for. It doesn't have to be your ultimate masterpiece in your entire life. So tell me if this is you. Are you someone that feels a bit more comfortable speaking something out instead of writing something out? If that's true, then you could do that for your book. So here is a trick. You can turn lost time into book talk time. So lost time might be, for example, when you're walking the dog around the neighborhood, or you're driving and running some errands around town, or you're going on a long road trip, whatever it is, maybe at the gym. When you have lost time that you can't otherwise be productive in your business, you could turn that into talk time to produce the book. And this is the approach you could take with audio. Number 1, speak it out. Number 2, transcribe it. Number 3, edit the transcription. So speaking it out can be as simple as just picking up your iPhone or whatever kind of phone you have and recording it onto the audio recording device. And then you can send it over to something like Trint.com or Rev.com, and you can have it transcribed really fast within 24 hours, often even faster than that. And now you've got something that you can just work off of editing instead of staring at a blank screen and trying to write from scratch. So the 1, 2, 3 approach with audio is a great way to quickly write your book, even if you feel like you suck at writing, and get it started by speaking it out first. And it's so much easier to then edit it from there. So really, why let writing stop you from being a best-selling author? Keep that in mind. Now, as a case study, I want to show you a client of mine that did just that. He spoke out his book, and not only did he do some recordings of it, he also hired someone within his company to help him do the editing. So Casey Fox is the name of the person that I worked with to help her figure out what categories to pick bestseller, because she was working with Steven on ghostwriting his book for him and with him. So he would speak it out. She would interview him and they would record it, and she would transcribe it and massage it and make it perfect. So you can actually hire somebody if you want to help you do all the steps along the way. And he hit #1 bestseller on Amazon and was so excited and is really leveraging it to get so much more. And to follow up with that with Stephen De La Cruz, I want you to think about the cost of doing editing and formatting and transcribing and things for you as the CEO of your business versus hiring it out from somebody. So I did a little estimate. Let's say that a CEO's time is worth $200 per hour, and it would take him or her 10 hours to complete, let's say, the editing and formatting of a book. So it would cost about $2,000. Now that's not necessarily cash out of pocket, but this is lost opportunities, stress, headache, etc. And we can absolutely easily find an assistant to do editing and formatting, let's say for $30 an hour, and it would take them only 7 hours because they're going to go faster because they know what they're doing and they enjoy this kind of stuff. That comes out to $210. Plus no stress or headache for the CEO, for you, and you can be out generating more business to more than pay for the cost with the time saved. So if you're kind of thinking, well, I don't know if I want to spend the money to get some help with editing or formatting or transcribing, etc., really think about the opportunity cost you'll be losing if you take it on all yourself, if you really hate it and it's going to take you forever or just prevent you from ever doing it at all. And then the next thing for how to quickly write your book, even if you suck at writing, is to follow someone else's template or model. And that is something that I actually do have in the Bestselling Book Accelerator. So this is Valerie Morris, who is someone who hit #1 bestseller in a bunch of categories. And she shared, I actually wish I signed up for the accelerator sooner because Laura has a ton of great stuff, not only for publishing and the technical side of hitting bestseller, but she also has a ton of practical insights into getting your book out on, quote, paper. So I've done this a bunch of times before for myself and for other clients. So I've got a model that you can follow as well. So if you want to shorten your time frame and do something quicker and easier, then follow a model that's already been proven. Speaking of which, to give you a little bit of a heads up of the method that I like to teach clients is I call the PST method. This is my template and structure for getting your book written and making it feel more painless. So the P in the step is post-it notes. So that's like the first brain dump where you just get everything out of your head, get out all the ideas of something that you could possibly write about for your book. So maybe you're still not sure of what your topic should be and you're hitting a roadblock. So start with Post-it notes, get everything out, and you can actually move the Post-its around your desk and start to see some unique combinations or overlap. And then S is your spiderweb mind map. So once you pick your topic or maybe an overlap of 2 or 3 topics that makes you really uniquely stand out in your niche, then put it in the middle and you're going to do another brain dump and start pushing out to the side different subcategories that go around your main topic category. And all the things, like you're going to do another brain dump of all the things that you could write about around that core central topic of your book. And then the final step is the timeline. So now it's just a matter of taking all the little spiderweb legs and putting it in a chronological order of what makes most sense for the reader to learn what you're going to teach them in what order. So that is an overview of one of the methods that I teach in the accelerator for how to get your book out of your head and into a really detailed, amazing outline so that it's super easy to write your book from there. So as an overview for our secret number 1 is look for workarounds to writing if you really don't love it. You can hire a ghostwriter, speak out your book and transcribe it, pay for help when it comes to editing and formatting, repurpose things you've already created, like podcasts, videos, blogs, amazing emails that you've already sent out and spent a bunch of time crafting in your nurture sequence. And you can also follow a proven outline method like my PST method for getting it out of your head and into an amazing detailed outline for your book. Your turn. So on a scale of 0 to 10, how confident do you feel that you can write a great book even if you don't love writing with those tips? I hope no matter what number it is, it has increased from what it was before. Okay, secret number 2. This is one of the most fun parts that people love to learn about is hitting bestseller, even if you don't have a big email list or an ad budget. And this comes from level 2, which is inside of our book profit blueprint and very detailed covered inside the Bestselling Book Accelerator. Now, all the things I thought that I needed were wrong when it comes to hitting bestseller. So now let me tell you really fast what a 21-year-old pro networking entrepreneur taught me about bestsellers. So I used to think about all bestseller lists must be like New York Times, where they just come out with a list every month and it's super, super hard unless you have a huge marketing budget, like $50,000 or more, and we're super connected and could get on Oprah and all this stuff. And I was like, oh, there's no chance that I'm going to do it. But there's something called the 1 hour rule for Amazon. So Amazon isn't like New York Times. It doesn't wait around for physical bookstores to report back its data on sales. It actually knows what is going on in terms of sales moment to moment, hour to hour. So it updates its bestseller rankings every hour. So in principle, you just have to make more sales in your relevant category than anyone else in order to bump up to the number 1 spot. Now, it's a little bit more complicated than that, but if you drill it down, that's the core of things because Amazon does update hourly. So it's far easier to hit bestseller. You need far fewer sales than you may have thought before. So how did I hit bestseller within hours of launching my first book and my second book and help a bunch of clients do it too? So assets I did not have. This is specifically with my first book. I did not have a big email list. I had like 150 people on my list and it was super dormant. I was like never messaging them. I didn't have a huge audience. I had a podcast with some downloads, but sometimes it's hard to get people from podcasts to take action. So there wasn't much engagement really. And I didn't have any money for ads. I also had no experience doing it. I was a complete first-time author. But what I did have was time. Although it was limited and I give myself a 30-day time limit, I was willing to put in the work and do what it took to make it happen. I also had about 1,800 friends on Facebook. I had about 200 likes on my Copy That Pops Facebook page. Most of them overlapped with friends. And I was at the time inside of a mastermind group of about 15 people. So I thought they would be really supportive. I also had determination to do something big and take my destiny into my own hands, which is what really matters. Print your own shirt. And what I've ended up coming up with now, after doing this many, many times, is what I call the TRACK formula for hitting bestseller, TRACK. each letter stands for something, and I'll give you a little bit of tips on that coming up on the next slide. But I want you to remember, don't be scammy. So my first book, for example, was about copywriting for podcasters. And that means that I would want to put it in a category I'd be proud to share screenshots of. And I hit number 1 in podcasts and webcasts. And so I felt very proud of doing that. But I would not be proud if I had put this book inside of like underwater basket weaving hobbies or something like that, because it just wasn't relevant. So make sure that you aren't scammy about it. You want to pick categories that are relevant and realistic for what your book actually would fit in and where your audience actually would be looking. Now, as fun, I would like you to guess how many sales did I have with my first book when I hit number 1 in podcasts and webcasts. So I've got a little line on the screen there and I'm going to fill it in. But how many sales do you think I had? Did I have 50,000 sales, 10,000 sales, 1,000, 500, 200, 100, 50? Nope, I had 33. So this shocks most people, but it is true that Amazon has so many categories and it updates it regularly. So you really can hit number 1 in relevant categories if they're not crazy competitive with far fewer sales than you ever thought possible, which is super encouraging and really fun. So the track formula, I'm going to tell you what the T, A, and the C stand for. Those are the most important ones. If you want to know what R and K are, then you're going to have to join the Bestselling Book Accelerator. And either way, we go into depth with each of these. But T stands for timing and pricing strategy. So you want to make sure that when you launch, you're launching on a good day with a decent price that's going to be really attractive to people to want to purchase it, so you can concentrate all your sales in a short time frame. I personally recommend launching at 99 cents, and I love Tuesdays or Wednesdays best. The A in the track formula stands for attraction-based marketing. So because I didn't have a budget for ads, I wanted to make posts and social media shares and things that would actually get people psychologically engaged and involved and care about my hitting bestseller so that they'd be more likely to support me on launch day. So you want to think about what kind of social shares and posts can you do that pull people into the post and get them engaged with it, and so that they'll see that you're serious and be more likely to support you when you go live. And then C, categories. It's very, very important, is you want to put in the effort. Even I myself take hours to put in the right effort to find those categories that are not as competitive, but very relevant to whatever book that I'm launching. That is the recipe for success in hitting bestseller. And here's a little sneak peek inside of the accelerator. You can see T, R, A, C, and K. So we cover everything in depth so that you've got a full step-by-step strategy and know exactly what to do to make sure that you get proof of hitting bestseller when you launch. And you might be thinking, does this even apply to me in my book? Is it possible for me? Yes, it is. This has not only just worked for a book nerd like me. Here is a case study to give you another example. Nicole Zion Cox. She was a college business student when I worked with her, and she was actually the first person that I helped. So I launched my book at the end of 2016, and then Nicole launched in early 2017 and said, hey, will you help me out? And so we just had one call, and I told her tips and tricks that I had learned. I didn't even have my track formula fully developed yet. But just from the few tips and tricks that I shared with her before I had even fully developed the accelerator and everything was enough to get her to number 3 bestseller in her categories and a number 1 hot new release. She was super excited. So even though Nicole, as this example, didn't hit number 1, she hit number 3 in really relevant categories around foster care, which is what her book was all about. And she was so excited. So really shoot for the moon, because the worst that can happen is, as they say, fall amongst the stars. Shoot for number 1 in all the categories that you can. And at the worst case scenario, what if you hit top 3 or top 5 or top 10? Even if you don't hit top anything, you're still a published author. There literally is no downside. Another case study is Tom Camp, and he did something interesting with attraction-based marketing that I thought was good to share. So Tom actually gave away his book completely for free before he even put it up on Amazon, but he did it strategically. He did that in order to grow his email list. And then when the book was live on Amazon, he had created so much goodwill with the people that opted in because he gave them so much value inside the book for free that they were more than happy to go and run and buy his book on Amazon for just 99 cents just to support him and say thank you. And what happened? He hit number one in 3 categories in the United States, and he also ranked number one inside of Germany. How about David DiGiorgio? Well, he pre-planned a launch team and a launch party like none other. He really put in a lot of effort to make a big splash. And he included people inside of his book and asked them to also share the book. So he basically asked people to contribute a section or like a chapter. And as a result, they were more likely to want to share the book too. So that's another great tactic is if you want the book to be shared by more people, shout people out or include a blurb from them or ask them if you can repurpose a blog article they've written or something if it's relevant, because then they're more likely to want to share your book too. And for David, he hit number one bestseller in 8 different countries. Not just categories, it hit a bunch of categories, but in 8 countries. And he hit number 2 bestseller in a total of 10 different countries. So a total of 10 countries, he hit number 1 or number 2, which is absolutely incredible. So you can really leverage a pre-planned launch team, party, and including people in your book to get lots of buys and lots of shares all around the globe. Now, how about Akbar Sheikh? So Akbar did a great thing with in the attract formula, attraction-based marketing. He did a bunch of Facebook lives. And when he went live in July of 2017, Facebook was especially sharing those Facebook live videos even more than regular videos. So he got a lot more exposure just by going live and sharing the journey of launching and writing the book. And he hit number 1 in 6 different countries. And as a result, he was invited to speak on a stage just a few months later. So there you have it, how to hit bestseller without ads or a big email list. Now, I wonder though, what if you do already have an email list? Or what if you do have money for ads and know how to run them? Or what if you do have other resources or connections? You can see that it'll happen even faster and easier for you if you've got other things you can leverage as well. And right now is the perfect timing to do a bestseller launch. Why? Well, bestseller is still highly respected, but the secret isn't out yet. And it's still very possible to hit number 1 on Amazon without crazy number of sales like I showed you, but I can't promise that forever. So I would say act now. No one has ever said, I wish I waited longer to publish my book. Your turn. So on a scale of 0 to 10, how confident do you feel that you can hit number 1 bestseller on Amazon, even if you don't have ads or a big email list? Even if you're still feeling a little bit of question marks, I hope that you see that it's so possible and that your confidence on the scale has gone really, really high up, because it is your turn next. All right, on to secret number 3, which comes from the boost section. Now, the boost section, we don't cover explicitly in the Bestselling Book Accelerator, but you're going to start getting those side benefits, those side effects, and all these other opportunities will literally start coming to you even while you're working on level 1 and level 2. So it's worth talking about how to get thousands of dollars in free media for your business because of your book. So when I first launched my book at the end of 2016, my goals weren't really that high. I was just like, well, I want to stand out in my field. I want to be known as a professional copywriter in the podcasting space. That's what I was focusing on at the time. And I thought a book will at least just give me increased credibility. I can be found more on Amazon. And when I am working with clients, I can tell them that I'm a published author on the topic. But what happened was I got tons and tons of opportunities to do podcast interviews, speak on stage, get featured in different posts or articles. And in just 2 to 6 months after publishing my book, I had easily generated tens of thousands of dollars in free media coverage and new sales inside of my business. So it's worth asking yourself, how much is one new client worth in your business? If your book can help you generate just one new client or one new client per month, is that worth it in your business? it absolutely was worth it for me. And getting that extra media attention is going to help drive those clients as well. So as a case study, I wanted to share some people that have really leveraged this secret number 3 even better than I have. So Sava Ali is someone that I worked with while she was also a college student studying business, and she decided to write and publish her book also in 30 days. So I did a bunch of coaching calls with her, and she hit #1 bestseller and #1 hot new release in 2 different categories on Amazon. So if a busy college student studying for exams and writing papers can do it, so can you. Come on. But she didn't stop there. She used that book to leverage for so much more. She was featured on the cover of her local newspaper. She even got to go on live TV and get interviewed. I think she's been on live TV as we record this 4 or 5 different times. This is only just one example on the screen. She's done now 2 TED Talks. She's spoken on stage all around the country. She's done so much stuff. Actually, I think she's going to be speaking in Puerto Rico soon. She is just leveraging the heck out of her book to grow her brand and business. And now she's out of school and growing a business all around Instagram and branding. And she's really leaning into that book to give her a leg up with all that extra credibility. Now, how about Mitch Durfee? So Mitch is somebody that also hit #1 in a bunch of categories, and he was super proud of this one in particular in business. And so this is a screenshot of the Facebook Live that he did when he went live, hitting #1 bestseller on his launch day. He was so excited. And just look at the number of reactions he's got on that post. Over 320 reactions, 110 comments. So this is media attention too. It might not be traditional media in a television, but people on his page who are following him, who are fans, who are potential clients, are seeing this and are super engaged, and you better believe they're going to be reaching out to hire him. He had over 4,000 views at the time I took this screenshot, but he probably had even more in the future. And then he found himself featured inside of a magazine too, which is so cool. Now, how about Jimmy Colson? So Jimmy is a client I worked with, hit #1 bestseller in his relevant categories at the end of 2018, and he has used his book now to do book signings. So he's doing book signings at local Barnes & Noble store where he's selling a bunch of books, meeting people in his local community, growing more connections. Actually, this guy in the photo up here in the upper right-hand side, I think that he plays for the Raiders. So who knows? Maybe a book can help you develop relationships with big celebrities and influencers. And then the last example is Valerie Morris. So you saw her before, and she also shared with the group that her book isn't even out yet, and it's already landed her speaking gig for the fall. I just started sharing in the last 2 weeks about my book coming out, and I got a private message via Facebook today from someone planning a conference who saw I had the book coming out. So as you can see, even while you're just writing the book, if you do what I teach you with attraction-based marketing, sharing your journey as you go, and bring people in, which was about in secret number 2, then you will start to get media attention and extra benefits that are going to increase your brand and your business exposure like nothing else. There is a magic around books. And just as some proof, you can see that Valerie did hit #1 bestseller in at least 3 categories, but I think she hit it in 9 different categories, and that's just a photo of 3 of them. So amazing job, Valerie. So what's the psychology behind why you're going to get so much free media attention once you're a best-selling published author? So psychologically, I used to teach psychology in community college and high school level. It really comes down to status. So not only does being a best-selling published author raise our status, but it's going to raise the status of other people who promote us. So we have to keep in mind, what do other people want? Other people want to look like a big deal. Other people want to look like they're successful. And if they are interviewing best-selling published authors, that's going to raise their public profile and their status and their credibility in the eyes of their audience. So by doing something like this for you, for yourself, around books, is going to help other people want to put you on and give you exposure as well. So how to get thousands of dollars in free media for your business? There are tons of different ways that you can really leverage your best-selling book and author status. Here are just a few: podcasts, radio interviews, Facebook live shows, digital summits, guest blogging, book signings, speaking gigs, TV interviews, online publication features, getting in the newspaper, being featured in industry magazines, and more. A lot of these things will just start coming to you. There's going to be doors that open up that you never thought were even there, and you didn't even realize they were closed. Once you become a best-selling published author, amazing opportunities just start to come your way. So your turn. On a scale of 0 to 10, how confident do you feel that you can get more media opportunities, exposure, and leverage with your books? I hope that whatever your rating is has really increased after you saw all those case studies of people who have leveraged it for so much more. And you saw a bit in my story too on how I did it. You absolutely can and will as well. So let's put it all together. If you followed what I showed you in secret number 1, to write a great book, even if you aren't the best writer, or even if you don't love writing, and then you did what I showed you in secret number 2, to hit bestseller, even if you didn't have ads or a big email list, and then you leverage the heck out of it like I showed you in secret number 3, to get tons of free media attention for your business, increase your self-confidence, raise your prices, and close more sales, do you think that you could be successful? Do you think that a book, the magic of books, would work for you in your business? I, for one, have absolute confidence in you, and now you have a plan. So looking back at the book Profit Blueprint for Entrepreneurs, you can see how it all ties together. And if you're still working on this, then the number one place to get started is with level 1 and level 2 to make you a best-selling published author. So hopefully so far, this has been time well spent. Has it been time well spent for you so far? I really hope that it's inspired you and empowered you to take some action and start working on your book, getting it bestseller, even if we don't work together further. But putting the little iceberg up there again, I've only been able to share with you a tip of the iceberg. What I can share with you in about an hour is just a portion of all the amazing things that I've got that can help you get there faster with less headache. So since I can't cover everything that you need in just one video, I thought I would let you know a bit more about the Best-Selling Book Accelerator, if that's okay. The goal with the accelerator is to get there faster, have more fun, less headache, and really just boil it down to the step-by-steps in perfect order of what you need to pull all together to make it happen. And our focus is what is in this yellow circle. So we really focus in the accelerator with P1 through P6 in getting you from overwhelm or no idea all the way to best-selling published author with proof, and get your book out in print and audio if you want to do that too. As a result, you're going to start getting some of those side effects and those level 3 boost items, even without making a big effort. Some of those things are going to start coming to you. What we really focus on in the accelerator is getting you up to par and speed with level 1 and level 2. Now, the accelerator, FYI, is not for you though. If you're looking for a get-rich-quick scheme off of Amazon, that's not what I teach you. It's not for you if you want me to write the book for you. I do occasionally still do ghostwritten work for clients, but it's a really high price. And it's very selective because I'm now building a family and things, so I can't take on everyone's project. But this program is to empower you to do it yourself in a fast, fun, easy way. And it's also not for you if you want a cookie cutter book just to slap your name on, like a book that's already written and you just put your name on it and publish it. It's also not for you if you're absolutely brand spanking new to business and don't have any real lessons to teach your audience yet. So if you're still kind of figuring out what you are going to do for business, then just come back when you're ready and keep this amazing plan in mind so that you can be ready to jump right in. It's also not for you if you don't deeply care about your audience and solving their problems. So I don't want to help anyone who's like scammy, sleazy salesperson, whatever. That's just like selling snake oil or whatever. It is for you if you're an action taker like me. It is for you if you are sick of dreaming and ready to do. If you're fed up waiting for someone to tap you on the shoulder and tell you you're good enough, because you already are. It's for you if you want to take your brand and business growth into your own hands and not just cross your fingers and hope that you get more opportunities. And it's also for you if you are done with limiting beliefs and want to boost your inner confidence and outer notoriety. And lastly, it is absolutely for you if you have an impact to make on the world and you can see how a book fits into helping you do just that. The Bestselling Book Accelerator has worked from people who are college students studying business all the way up to CEOs, COOs, and CMOs. It's worked for coaches, consultants, podcasters, public speakers, social media marketers, small business owners, entrepreneurs with experience, but not as much brand recognition as they want or deserve, and really anyone who has specialized knowledge and wants to be known in their niche with the goal of growing their brand and their business. So what is at the core of the accelerator? Well, first of all, level 1, covering the book. So we go in depth with P1, plan, P2, pen, and P3, publish. So from overwhelm or no idea to a perfectly edited and formatted book ready for your debut to the world in both Kindle and in print. And then level 2 training is all about the bestseller. So we're going to publish on Kindle, get proof of your bestseller with that track formula, and show you exactly how you can also publish into print and even into audio. So you'll self-publish a #1 bestseller without stress and have an exhilarating and successful book launch that starts generating you more attention and profit into your business. Now you're also going to get inside step-by-step, 100% success rate track formula details for #1 bestseller, which I could sell completely separately, but it is included in there. You will 100% get it. Also, the fail-proof Amazon category selection hacks for #1 bestseller launch. This is also something that a lot of other programs that I've researched that are competitors do not teach, and it's one of the core amazing things for that track formula to make sure that you hit #1 in relevant categories. Also an 8-week action plan. So basically I'm going to break it down day by day what to do, and even week by week as a checklist to make it easy to digest of exactly what to do to go from no idea to best-selling published author in 8 weeks. And if you want, you could do that in 30 days. So you just go twice as fast. Or if you need more time, make it go 16 weeks and make it take 4 months. So it's totally customizable, but I've got everything broken down so you don't have to overthink it. And I just tell you exactly what to do and when to do it. And you're like, okay, cool, I'm on the go. And then also included is Inception copy secrets to help you sell your services inside of your book and grow your email list from inside of the book, which I could also sell separately, but it is included. And then you'll also get a copy of my permission to write a brand building book, which will be helpful if you've got some more myths to overcome and bust through that imposter syndrome to get you moving and get your book completely done. And depending on what package you pick, there are also some bonuses from me. So just look below and see more details. In terms of guarantees, I want to point out what I call the teacher's honor guarantees. So as you know, I am a trained teacher. I have a master's degree teaching English as a foreign language certificate. My core is really about helping people and teaching people. It's not sales and marketing and business and like trying to get the most money out of people. I'm not like a scammy salesperson. So I have 3 different guarantees. So #1 is 30-day money back guarantee. So if you want to buy it, jump in, click around, watch some videos and see if it's exactly what you expected. Cool. Go for it. If it is not what you expected, just email us for a full refund. We care more about helping you than trapping you into something that doesn't work for you. I also have a 1-year bestseller. We're so confident that our methods with the track formula is going to, if implemented, tell you exactly what to do and hit bestseller. So if you do exactly what we do, if you implement everything and it doesn't work, we'll give you a refund, which that absolutely won't happen because it 100% works if you follow what we do. So it's like a no-brainer guarantee for me. And then also 1-year ROI guarantee. So I'm so confident that a book is the best multi-purpose marketing tool out there that I guarantee if you follow everything we show you and you don't get more media exposure, book sales, and or new leads and clients into your business, we'll also give you a return money back up to a year. I really believe in this program and in this accelerator and know that it can help you. So I just want to eliminate all the risk out of your mind so you can feel confident to jump in and get started. And if you're a super details person like I am and you want to know a bit more about what's underneath each of the different P's, here is a screenshot of actually the different lessons that are underneath P1 for plan. So you can check that out right here on the screen. So together, the goal is we're going to make sure that you're working toward the right goals for yourself and your audience when it comes to books. We'll start mapping out what you need to do for writing and marketing to hit your book and bestseller goals. So we're going to have our eye on marketing and hitting bestseller even when we're starting from the very beginning. We'll lay strong foundations and make sure that the book you write is a book that pops. And a book that pops to me is something that actually helps to grow your brand and your business and get you all those incredible benefits of the boost and the side effects, even while you're writing it. P2, for more details, that's the pen and produce area. So you can see the details, and some of these lessons are super short. So like, for example, this question, how long should my book be? I just answer that question in a 3.5-minute video, and that is it. So don't get overwhelmed by the number of different topics. It's just resources that you can pop in and out of whenever you need them to support you along the way with whatever step that you're in. So in this section, it's where we get the perfect book out of your head and get it onto paper or get it out of scattered documents on your computer. So we focus on outlining, repurposing things that you may already have, writing the book, getting the book cover designed, and you can do that for as cheap as $31.50. That's how much I spent on my second book cover, the red one, which I love. It is gorgeous. And yeah, so that's the name of the game in P2. By the end of this section, your book will be more than a pipe dream for some day later. And inside P3, polish. So this is where we focus on editing and formatting. And so each of these sections as well inside of the accelerator, you can see what you're going to get in there. Some are very short and just really fast, quick tips for margins and gutters or recommended font sizes based on my experience. So your book's contents are mostly done, but now it's time to get it edited and formatted. So we'll show you exactly how our clients are doing editing and formatting by DIY themselves or very inexpensively. By the end of this section, your book will be a real book, ready for publishing as both a Kindle ebook and for print. And then popping down into level 2, what will you learn and what will you implement in the accelerator? So starting with P4, publish to Kindle. So this is where we're going to start because super savvy marketing reasons that I reveal in the accelerator, it's best to start with your Kindle book. And we're going to make it live on Amazon, which is one of the most visited websites on the planet. And we're going to cover inside of the accelerator the 6 A's of self-publishing and which ones to do in what order, copy tips for compelling book listings, files you need prepped and what I recommend, and more. So it's self-publishing made fast and easy. And we break down each tab inside of KDP, which stands for Kindle Direct Publishing, where you'll upload your documents. And I just make sure everything is covered so you never have a question and you're 100% ready to go for the best publishing. P5 is that proof of bestseller. So here's where the track formula really shines. This is the most exciting step. Guided by the proven track formula to hit bestseller guaranteed, you'll know exactly what to do before and during your book launch for bestseller status and capturing all the proof you possibly can that you did it. And like I kind of hinted at, R and K inside the formula, I have it blurred out. So only people who go through accelerator will know that you can jump in. And of course, I've got the guarantees and everything. So by the end of P5, you will be a #1 best-selling author in relevant categories that you are proud to show off. So you can see we talk about the 8-week action plan, reminders for things on marketing, attraction-based marketing, and getting people really involved. We go over a detailed timing and pricing strategy. We go over R, which is a secret, attraction-based marketing blitz, category selection, and also K, that secret little category K. And then exactly where to look to get screenshots for proof. I actually have updated this video, so there's 9 spots to get screenshots for proof that I teach you inside of there, and just how to bring it all together for a bestseller launch. P6 is all about the paperback and audiobook. So not everyone decides to publish their paperback, hardback, and audiobooks. I highly recommend that you do at least a paperback book because you can use it as a gift to event organizers. You can give it as a gift to hot leads of people maybe you meet in person while you're networking and more. So in P6, we will clarify the differences between your Kindle and paperback launches and the goals that you should have, help you navigate how to do a hardback if you like, and also show you how to do the best audiobook that you can if you decide to do so. So some more testimonials and case studies just to show you that this works for more people than just nerds like me. Here is Jaya MK. So she hit #1 bestseller and #1 hot new release in the US, India, and in Australia. She was super, super excited. And she has kind of a unique category. She helps people with numerology. So she's a numerology expert, which is not super popular in the United States, but very popular in other Eastern cultures. And so she was especially excited to hit #1 in India. She was so, so proud. And so here are some screenshots just showing that Jaya MK says that I am a bestseller magnet and I will absolutely help you just like I helped her to hit her bestseller goals. And actually, it's really exciting. As I'm recording this training, I have a client that is #1 bestseller in, I think it's 10 categories right now. So as you can see on her page, this is one of the things I teach inside the accelerator. Amazon will only show you any one time on your product details part of the page in 3 categories, but you can actually be in up to 10 Kindle categories. So she is ranking #1 and actually more than 10 because she's hitting #1 in some of the parent categories above some of these subcategories that she's in. So she is just totally rocking it. She's got a #1 new release flag. Any minute now, she's going to get a #1 bestseller flag, and we're going to take a photo of it and share it all over the place. So I'll give you one little show here. So if we open just one of these into another window, you can see her book #1 next to all the other ones in that category. So that's kind of a little teaser on what it'll look like when you hit bestseller on Amazon. And you can see that you'll hit #1 if you follow my method in more than one category, 100%. I'll put a bunch of more testimonies below so you can see the different types of people that this has worked for. But you might be feeling like, I'm just not sure if I have time to take this accelerator and do the steps. But the truth is that the Bestselling Book Accelerator is actually going to save you time. So let me show you how. So here's a little chart that I'm going to show you how we can think about things doing something on your own, completely DIY, versus together in a group, in a program that guides you through stuff, and how to go about something with it's just like hope and luck versus having an actual system and proven strategy that has been tested, tried and true. So most people, including myself, start down here a lot because I think I can always do everything myself. And I try to like save all my pennies and never pay anyone to help me. And then you'll see why that doesn't really work very well. Anyway, if you're going it alone and you're just relying on hope and luck and you don't have a proven system, then you're going to encounter the fact that it's going to be very, very time consuming. So you can do a bunch of research and try to figure out the best way to launch the book, figure out the best tips for making compelling copy inside your book so that you are attracting leads and clients. But it's so much easier if you actually can just look at the cheat sheet and do what someone has already proven. So doing it on your own is definitely more time consuming. It's more frustrating, overwhelming, lonely. You start seeing shiny objects everywhere, and most likely you'll probably give up or at least just put it on the back burner yet again. And all of a sudden months and years pass by and you still haven't done your book and you're still not leveraging what you could as a best-selling author. Now, if you go it alone, but you have a system and proven strategy, cool. It will get overwhelming at roadblocks because you don't have anyone live to ask questions to. And it's a little bit lonely and not as fun, but it's definitely better than not going off of a proven system and strategy. Now, if you work on something together, but still relying on hope and luck and not a proven strategy. It can absolutely be really fun because groups can be really fun and entertaining, but also it can be frustrating and distracting because not everyone is maybe on the same page, or, things just kind of take forever and everyone gets distracted and you're likely to also give up or just find something else that is showing more results in a faster time frame, and you just kind of end up drifting away from your original goal. But the best combination is when you work on something with somebody who's already been there, who's gone through it a billion times, and has a proven system and strategy. When you do that, it's more fun. You have accountability. You get quick answers when you hit roadblocks. You have more certainty that the steps you're following are going to actually lead directly to success instead of wondering if it's going to work or not. You have 100% increased success for sure, and it feels a lot more rewarding. So even if you don't end up jumping into the accelerator with me, I would encourage you to find a proven system and strategy and something where you can get help and collaboration from people who have done it before. And then keep in mind what I call the 4 futures. So right now here on the left is where we are. And in 3 years to the right, it's going to happen no matter what we do. But the path to get to that future in 3 years can go in one of 4 ways. So in the future, things could turn out great, amazing. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. Things can turn out okay. Things can turn out disappointing, or they can turn out to be a complete disaster. Now, where we are now, the path to each of these 4 futures is very close. It's all pretty much starting at the same spot. But in 3 years, as the different actions you take increases the distance between these different futures, it's going to be harder and harder to make a change from disaster to great. It's going to be a lot more effort to make that big jump. Whereas right now, taking action is really going to be a lot easier. So the further you delay things and the more you push things off, the harder it's going to be to get to where you want to go. The more effort it's going to take. So if you kind of look at these little boxes drawn around now, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, the difference between the effort that it takes now versus the effort that it'll take later to ensure that you have that great future versus disaster, makes a big difference. So the actions that you take now, it doesn't matter what happened in the past, but the actions you take now are going to make a bigger impact on how high you can reach later. And another way to kind of think about it with books is that these things compound. So the sooner you write a book, the sooner you can hit bestseller. The sooner you hit bestseller, the sooner you can say you're a published best-selling author. The sooner you can do that, the sooner you can get more podcast interviews. The sooner you get more podcast interviews, the sooner that someone in the local news takes notice of you and invites you to do live interview on TV. And the sooner you do the live TV, the sooner then you get a national news coverage, or you get a speaking opportunity that then leads to XYZ. So things just snowball, and taking action now is going to be the best result for you to ensure a great future when it comes to your brand and your business by leveraging the power of books. And really, the leverage of compounding is kind of like investing with money. The more you put in now, the better over time, because things just compound and build and snowball. And truly, I have never met a single person in my entire life. I've never worked with a single client who has ever said, you know what, Laura, I sure wish I waited longer to become a best-selling published author and use my book to grow my brand and business. I really wish I had put that off because, it just wasn't really worth the effort. I've never, ever, ever heard someone say that. So I would say, if this is on your brain, on your heart to do it, then jump in sooner than later. Do not keep on putting it off. And to give you a little bit of perspective just on the industry as a whole, you can absolutely get someone to help you with done-for-you services. So everything from ghostwriting the book to editing and formatting the cover design to plan your entire marketing plan, do a bestseller launch, make sure that you get bestseller, use the book to get you more speaking gigs and podcast interviews. I mean, you can really hire done-for-you pros to do everything. Now, if you're looking for ghostwriting, editing, formatting, things like that, some of the people out there will charge you a really good one is you're looking at a minimum of $15,000 to $20,000 to start, and upwards from there. Also, if you want to include some marketing and hitting bestseller, then that's just going to keep on going up and up. I also know of other programs that maybe are similar, and they are way, way, way higher priced. And I have heard, I've actually had a lot of people come to me and say, Laura, I did these other programs and they were great, but they didn't actually teach me how to pick the right categories in Amazon, or they didn't actually show me how to get proof that I hit bestseller on Amazon so that I could show it off later. And I was like, whoa, but that's like the main core point of hitting bestseller. So I feel really, really proud that not only is my pricing more competitive and easier for people to achieve in the many expenses that they have for their business, but also we cover more things more in depth, and I even give you better tips and tricks when it comes to copy, since that's my background. So I really think this is a competitive offer, and I hope that if the accelerator looks like it's going to check the boxes for what you need, that you jump on in, and I would love to help you hit all of your goals. So right now you have two options. Number one is you can just ignore this and say, this was interesting to learn from, and just kind of go about your way and keep on chasing shiny objects. Or option two is to take action and jump on in. Remember, you have 3 guarantees that completely protect you. So there really is absolutely no risk. If what I've shared with you makes sense and the plan looks like something that you want to follow, then please just jump in, because you have, even just looking at only the first guarantee, you have 30 days to click around and watch everything and check it all out and make sure that it really works for you. So there's absolutely no risk. Just jump on in, and I would love to help you hit your goals and put you on the author wall of fame to show you off and drive more traffic to your book and to your business as well. There you have it. I truly hope that this workshop was helpful. And if you're ready to jump into the best-selling book accelerator, then just look below for some more details and also more case studies and testimonials so that you can see that this does work and it will work for you as well. I can't wait to see you inside of the accelerator.